I thought of an odd question today, Captain, and you're the only one here.
I thought of an odd answer, I'm sure. Lay it on me.
So, you know how, like, probably the most embarrassing thing you could say, a woman could say to a guy in bed is it in yet?
Yeah. Yep, agreed.
Have you ever experienced the opposite, where you've had to ask them?
Is it... Wait, what? You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
Okay, obviously during sex. Have you ever
Yeah.
been in a situation where you've had to ask the girl if it's in yet?
Oh. Yeah, actually. Or, well, maybe I didn't ask, but, like, it was hard to tell.
I'm glad I'm not alone on this. Because I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
what
not
the
just you.
fuck brought it up, but I started thinking about it today, and I'm like, there has to be other people.
Well, okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Okay,
And
so
I'll...
it was someone who shall remain nameless because this probably will go on YouTube.
Okay.
But it was with an ex of mine, and like, she wasn't really that loose, but you know, she also wasn't the tightest. But she was just a very wet woman. The bitch, I swear to God, came from Atlantis.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was just, you know, water's flowing, someone left the tap on, and I just had no fucking idea. And I was just like, hey. And I wasn't even that blunt. I was just like, isn't it in yet? And she's like, can't you tell? I'm like, no. I got a pretty dirty look. And then I had to, like, look down. I'm like, oh, okay, it is. And I don't even understand how we continued doing it, because I imagine she was pretty...
Not my
into it.
fault. You're the one with the swampy puss.
I mean, at least it didn't smell, but it was just like... someone left the fucking sink running.
Yeah, no, I get you. Okay. Well, I've got two different ones where I could, like, kind of think of it. Two different situations. There was one where, like, there's not a nice way to put this. The girl was so fat that there was, like, a lot of extra down there. So it was like, I couldn't tell if I was, like, totally getting right into the right spot or if I was just getting some of the kind of fat lip, if you know what I mean.
Oh my fucking God.
There's not a better way to explain this, man.
Oh my God.
So
Jesus.
that's one way that that's happened.
I'm glad I brought this up.
And the other way is a little bit more sad because it's not like yours where it can be like a little sexy too. Because it's like, oh, look at her, she's fucking. I got her juices flowing. She's really liking this kind of thing. And the other one was a little bit more. I don't want to say tragic, but it was not as fun of a situation. There's one instance where like I wasn't super into her, and it was like kind of the trailing off of the relationship kind of thing. And so like we were doing it, but it was like, but there's only the best way I can think of to explain it. I was kind of going in half cocked, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you were pushing rope.
Yeah, and so I was kind of like, I can't exactly, because I was like, I'm just not really, I was trying to do it for her. It wasn't really for me at that point, and so I couldn't really tell, and I was like, I'm not fucking sure if it's in or not. So, yeah, those are the two separate instances
I'm just so happy.
that I can think of.
Okay, Captain.
Yeah.
Another sex question. What is your favorite
Okay.
sexual term? Mine is
My favorite.
definitely pushing rope because it cracks me up. Like it's just
Push and rope.
That's such a funny fucking term.
It is a good term. My favorite sexual term. That's a good question. Okay, actually, you know what? I think I have an answer for this. So back in the day, I didn't know. Okay, I'll explain it because I asked my friend this. I was like, I don't really know what to call this. Maybe you can help me out. And so, because I'd seen it and I knew what it is. I'm sure you know what it is too, because it's a pretty vanilla thing. But I just didn't know what it was called. So I was hanging out with my friend one day. I was like, do you know what the term is? Where like I don't really know how to explain it better than this, but basically where like you're tit fucking someone's butt cheeks.
Oh, hot dogging.
And he was, yeah, exactly. He was like, I think that's called hot dogging. And I was like, of course it is. What else would it be called?
I'm not gonna lie,
So
I didn't know that term for the longest time, but I fucking love that term.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with hot dogging for one, the term, and two, the way that I found out about it.
Oh my
So,
fucking god.
but for me, it will forever be fondly remembered as tit fucking someone's butt cheeks.
Oh my god, I think I just found a tie. 'Cause pushing rope and hot dogging, just fucking fantastic terms.
Yeah.
I love hot dogging. It's such a wonderful thing.
I've never actually done that, but I've seen it in porn. I'm like, that's pretty fucking hot if she's, got like a big ass in that.
Yeah, it's definitely an exclusive to big butts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's especially great if like it's one of those girls that has no like small boobs but a big butt. Then it's just like I don't need to be tit fucking because I can hot dog it.
That's a fair explanation, but as a tit man, I can say that I'd be disappointed. Like, I would rather have giant tits and no ass than no tits and a giant ass.
And I understand that because I mean big boobs are fucking killer. There are some gnarly things in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't. It's hard. Like, I've had girls ask me like, "What are you, a boob man or an ass man?" And it's a really hard decision because like, tits are just so much fun. But during
are.
sex, I'm doing my mojo. Got to do the moves. It's hard to pay attention. I don't know what to do with them. Slap them around, suck them. The typical shit. But like, I don't know. With doggy, you just grab the ass and it's this big squishy handlebar. Like, it's like a roller coaster. Keep your hands on the bar the whole time. Like, I can do this.
See, for me, it's kind of interesting. Being more of a boob guy, I actually, it's really funny you say that. I agree that, like, it's nice to grab onto and just, have something to hang on to while you're doing your thing. But I find myself sometimes with doggy. Now, mind you, this has to be with somebody of the right body type, because it obviously is not going to work for everybody. But if they do, and they're flexible, where they can kind of arch their back for me in that, one thing I like to do is I'll do them doggy style, where they kind of lean forward, and I'm like, actually, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like almost part standing up, where I'm kind of like, I got my one knee bent and the other one down, so that I'm kind of able to lean forward but still do my thing. And I reach down and I like
Such a poor
grope
move.
the boobs. It is, but I love groping them while I do it. So
I guess, like,
That's
I don't
like-
know, because maybe it's just the women I've been with, but like, I see boobs as like a foreplay thing. Because I mean, if you're doing missionary, and I don't mean like laying on top of them, but they're on their back, you're kind of sitting up or standing up, depending on where this is located. And like, I'll grab it. I'll definitely take a squeeze, but it just seems that like usually I'm holding the legs up because I guess I'm what I call a pretzel bender because like I I will grab and I will just kind of shift, so it's awesome for me. And usually, I've never had a complaint, so whatever.
Yeah.
But like usually they're like all into it and grabbing their own tits, so it's just like, well, if you got that covered, I'm gonna just work everything down here.
That's interesting. I've never actually had like a chick really like grab her own boobs.
Ah,
me
dude, like,
around.
well, okay, an exception for one who was a dead fish,
Yeah.
and like that was just awful all around.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Not something I've seen much. I agree that boobs generally fall more into the foreplay. I consider the ability to add them into the sex part to be like a nice addition. Like it's not expected, nor a lot of times practical, but it's still a lot of fun.
well, also like this might be just weird, but like at least for statistics, but I've never not been a woman that wasn't down to choking. Like,
Okay.
I swear every woman's into it. I don't care what they say. Like everyone I've been with has been like, yeah, choke me. Like, okay, cool, I'm down. But so, doing your thing, one hand on throat, and then usually like one hand on a leg, like holding it up, or like holding butt cheek, or just holding position. And like, I've got 2 arms, man. I'm not Neptunian. I got limitations.
You know what's kind of interesting too? Like you bring up like the choking thing. I've never been into that because like, for me now this is I know everybody's got their own different things that they like and don't like and whatnot. But I've never been really able to get into like the pain stuff, like either giving or receiving. Like it just I have like a block where like because I've had girls be like, I want you to fucking like slap me around, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like I'm not wired that way. It just doesn't work. But
Okay, gonna continue.
yeah, but yeah, there was, but interestingly though, I have discovered, like, not super recently, but like some of the past women, like the past 3 that I've been with, have really been into face fucking, and I'm like,
Me?
hey, you heard me, like they're like, I want to give you a blowjob, but then like, it goes into
The
me
aggressive.
like,
I know.
not like violently, but like basically me rhythmically fucking their face. And I'm like, I'm super into it. But
I
like,
need to meet these women.
yeah, but like, like 3, and I'm like, do I just happen to be running into the ones that like it or what? But like, and they're like totally into it. It's not like they're doing it for my benefit. They're like, no, I fucking love it that you do that. I'm like, wow. Oh my god, okay.
With my experience, it's always the classic that anal hurts. But, like, every girl I've been with has been like, no, that I don't do that. And it's just like, okay, but, I'm into it, so it's still going to be brought up in conversation. Maybe like, hey, it's my birthday or Christmas, maybe you're willing to try. And, it always starts with no, but it always ends with yes. And even if they're not always into it, I've, like, in every one of them, I've always gotten, like, a call, just like, I don't know why, but I'm in the mood for it. It's like, I'm on my way!
That's funny. Like, I'm into it too. And I've done it with a few different girls to, varying reactions. Most of them, like, when I suggested it, were like, yeah, I'm totally for that. And then some of them, like, they took it real well and were like, yeah, that was awesome. And some of them were like, I really want to try this, but I'm too nervous, so like they couldn't, relax enough for it to not hurt them. So like we just didn't do it. But I don't know. For me, the novelty of it wore off a little bit because it's such a pain to like prep for a lot of the time. and it's like I like
Maybe
doing
you're more
it 'cause
romantic than I am. There's no prep.
well, I mean, like for sanitation purposes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like getting them kind of ready for it. Like
Clean
so,
food.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Because I don't really want my dick to be covered in stuff. So
I think I've been
and
lucky every time because it's never happened to me.
without getting graphic, it's happened to me. So, I appreciate taking time for cleanliness. So, and that's the thing too, is that like sensation-wise, it is different but not better from the experiences I've had.
It's like a different warmth and a different tightness. That's all.
It
really
is, and the texture is different too. But
Like,
yeah,
sound like we're
that's
talking
the
about a
thing,
painting.
I know, but it is different. It never been better. It just maybe every once in a while it's kind of fun because it's a kinky kind of thing. It's like the excitement of something different, but pleasure-wise it doesn't do that much for me for the amount of effort required. So like, I kind of dropped off with suggesting it to people, but I mean, yeah, I've done it with like enough people that kind of know what it's about. So I don't know. Now, if it was somebody who was like super into it, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I will accommodate that as long as you're willing to accommodate me too. But yeah, most of the time I'm like, I don't know. I want to get her done.
I've never had to worry about the accommodations of me because like I don't even understand. Like I'd have to really sit down and think about it, but like I don't even know when like the pain thing started. But like I remember it must have been like my second girlfriend. Like I was still like 15, and my girlfriend at the time was just like, "What do you think about hot candle wax?" I'm like, "Well, it doesn't hurt, and go for it." And like it was on the chest, and I was like, "That's all right. I am totally down with this."
See, that's interesting. I've never had anybody that I've been with. I've known people that are into the wax play, and from my understanding, wax play candles are actually different than just regular candles.
Oh, we just use regular candles, like stick candles.
Mm.
Like so, it's still
Okay,
like proper wax. And then
Well, yeah.
I had this one that, like, I had this girlfriend that was into darker stuff, and I surprised her because she's like, "What? How do you feel about cutting during sex?" I'm like, "Me or you?" She's like, "Me cutting you." I'm like, it depends on where, because if you're cutting my dick, you're getting a bitch slap." And she's like,
Yeah, we're gonna have a problem.
"No, like on the chest." And I'm like, "I've never tried it, and it didn't hurt," so I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine with it." And like she did it a few times, and I was like, "Okay." But the only thing I've ever really asked for is another ex of mine. She had this weird obsession with smacking me in the face. And I don't mean like, haha. It was like, hand back, wham.
Like, yeah, full on, like,
And
bitch slap. Yeah, I get you.
like, I was okay with it. Like, it was all the time. It would happen like at least 20 times a day whenever I hung out with her.
Jesus.
And it'd be in front of people. And like the first time it happened, it just caught me off guard. Because I was like 19, and like maybe I was 20, I don't know. But it was just like, oh, okay.
Wait, so
So-
she did that without asking? She was just kind of like, wham.
Yeah, like we had been going out for like a couple days, and then power slap to the face because I said something, and I don't even remember. It wasn't even offensive, and I was just like, okay, okay, and then it happened a few more times, and I'm like, I'm really okay with this.
I don't know, man. See, that's the thing, is that I don't think I'd take that so well. I'd probably be fucking pissed. So I don't know.
'Cause,
Like, if
it
you're
was,
into it, go
it
for
was
it.
too
but-
shocking at first, and then I was just like, I don't know why I like this, but I'm okay with this happening more. And like, eventually the conversation started of like, hey, what about that? But you know, not in my social life. Like, I'm okay with it in my social life, but what about like in the bedroom? And that happened. I was like, this is awesome.
That's fair. Like, you know, if you're both into it, then I don't really see a problem with it at all. But, you know, it just not for me. You know,
I had
wouldn't be
friends that
interested.
had a problem with it, which was the weirder
Really?
part. Because they're like, why the fuck do you let her do that? I'm like, because I'm okay with it. They're like, but she's smacking you in front of your friends. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who sees it. I like it. You got a
Yeah,
problem
at that
with
point,
it,
it's like,
then I don't give a shit.
yeah, because I think they just are kind of misunderstanding the fundamental idea behind it at that
Well,
point.
because in like the social situations, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was just she just liked to smack me because
Oh.
I mean I was a lot bigger than her, and I guess she had done it with a couple exes before, and it didn't go over so well. And
Oh, really?
I was the only one that's just like, I would like head not even turn, like just smack, and I'm just like, okay. So she was just, for whatever reason, she liked to do it. It bothered friends of mine, but I was just like, you don't like it, I don't really care. It's not you. It's not your life. It's shut up.
Yeah, it's not really, frankly, any of their business at that point, you know?
Like, I appreciate the concern, but it's my pleasure.
Yeah, if there's no problem, then there's no problem, you know? I had one girl that actually asked me to do, like, a play rape with her.
See, I've had this conversation with... I don't remember all the people that were there, but it was one of our parties, and, you know, I think Newbie was there, and Devil and Money were definitely there, and we were talking about... We were having a weird sexual conversation, and I brought up rape fantasy, which is a fucking thing. I take feminism out of it, take anything you want out of it, but it's a thing. I know it is. You can look it up on the internet. I've seen it in, like, cop drama shows.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, like I said, I had a girl ask me to do it. She was into it.
yeah, but,
So-
like, when I brought it up, everyone was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not a thing. Like, Money was completely
It's so
against
much
it.
thing.
And they're like, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, but no. And they're like, so if a girl asked you to do that, would you? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. And that doesn't make me a rapist. It just means, I mean, if I'm having sex with somebody, I'm probably emotionally involved, and
Yeah.
I care about what they're into if I want them to give a flying fuck what I'm into. So
Right.
it's only fair.
Well, spoiler alert, I told her that I wouldn't, like, that I was like, I'm not okay with that, and that was fine, but I actually talked about it in my philosophy of sexuality class, because later, as I got older, I was like, you know, I think I'd be okay with it, just because, you know, at the
You
time
actually
I was
brought
like,
this up in a class.
yeah, oh yeah, we talked about it. We talked because we had a term for it that is accurate when you think about it: consensual non-consent. Like, that's what it is when you think about it. Like, it is consensually non-consensual. It's mocking the non-consensual aspect, but nevertheless is consensual. Because they're saying, hey, do you want to do this thing where we do like a play rape kind of thing, where we're not actually doing it, we're just like toying with the scenario while we both are like, okay, but we know each other and we both know that we're like safe people together, you know?
Yeah, see, that's the different part. Like, if you know the person, then it's not just like, oh, this guy I was with. Like, no, it's probably a boyfriend or girlfriend that, you know, you care about. And, I mean, if you're having sex, chances are pretty high that, there's some trust involved in there. So...
Right. And so that's what we basically in the class. Now, obviously, it's funny that you say that they were all like freaked out. Some people in the class were like about this, and I was like, I don't understand the problem. Like,
look, a lot of people
like,
are weirded out if it's not missionary.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, like as a concept, it is consensual, so it's not an issue. Like,
yeah, but unfortunately, it has that dirty word, the dirty R word. So like people get really uncomfortable with that.
That's the thing, though, is that some people do fantasize about the idea of a stranger coming and like sexually taking advantage of them. Like it has like a taboo sexual kind of feel.
Exactly. That's the word. A lot of people like taboo shit. Unfortunately, nowadays taboo is videos fucking your sister. But wow. But I mean, everyone's got their kink. Everyone's a freak in some way. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and
even if you're Amish, you got some dirty secrets.
It's true. Everybody does. And like with this girl, I eventually even told her, I was like, like years down the road, I was like, I think I'd be okay with that so long as we set ground rules and boundaries and like there was very thorough understanding of what was happening. It never happened. I've never done that. But like, the concept doesn't bother me because it's not the same thing as like an actual rape. The whole idea is that like it's another person. It's like it's almost like a power play kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea because they're just they can't get past the different aspects of it, or they're just like, I don't want to have a person have that much control over me. But some people do. Like I'm sure. Well, maybe not. But one thing I've heard about is like total power swaps. Like, have you ever heard of that?
Are you talking like pegging?
No. Like where one person grants the other 100% control over them. Like they say, I
so
will
like tying people up.
Not even no. I'm talking like 100% all day, every day, every hour of every day.
Oh, so more like the people that can walk a woman on a chained leash while they're naked. Okay.
Kind of. They may, but that's the thing is that it may not even be that. It may just be like, out and about day to day, they tell them to do XYZ thing, and they always do it, and stuff like that. It comes in a lot of different forms. But, like, some people are into that. Other people are like, I could never do that. I'm one of those people, I'm like, I could never do that. But nevertheless, I understand that some people are into that or interested in that. And if that's their thing, that's their thing. I see no problem with it.
Sorry, I just made like an impossible goal with no seconds left. And now the game's tied. Like we just got 3 points in 30 seconds. The whole power, like complete power thing has always been a thought. I don't think I could ever do it. Like, I'm sure, especially now, today's day and age, some feminists would be like, she's not a pet, blah, blah. But, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, you're a person. If you're gonna be an animal, I'll go to a fucking furry convention.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that it's not people saying that, like, I'm an animal. It's like, it's a person having total authority over them.
I meant more for, like, the on the leash thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another thing, too, is, like, that's part of the power aspect for some people, and, like, not everybody's gonna be into that sort of thing. But some people are. So, I forget what point I was trying to make with that. I think you get what I'm talking about, though, that, like, there's just, like, there's so many different things, and it's so funny to me that people get hung up about some stuff,
And I don't understand why.